Ever pondered why security controls for hosts are indispensable in the realm of information security? Well, let's delve into it. These controls act as the guardians of our cyber world, a bulwark against unauthorized access and sinister activities. They're the invisible shield that secures our systems, ensuring that only the right people have the right access at the right time. Imagine them as the locks on your doors, the alarms in your homes, the vigilant eyes watching over your precious valuables. They function in the same way, but in the digital space, safeguarding valuable data and maintaining the integrity of networks. Every byte of information, every piece of data, every transaction, every interaction is shielded by these controls. In the absence of these, it's like leaving your house unlocked with all your valuables on display. Without these crucial security controls, organizations are left vulnerable to a plethora of cyber threats. So how can an organization implement these security controls effectively on their hosts? Well, understanding security controls is the key to answer this question. Security controls are safeguards or countermeasures designed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. They form a vital part of any organization's security posture. There are 3 types of security controls: administrative, technical, and physical. Administrative controls involve the implementation of policies, procedures, and guidelines. They set the groundwork for a secure environment. Next, we have technical controls, which are the hardware or software mechanisms that protect systems and data. Think firewalls, encryption software, and intrusion detection systems. Lastly, physical controls are the tangible measures taken to protect the organization's assets and sensitive information. This could include things like CCTV cameras, locks, and biometric access controls. Each of these types contributes to a comprehensive security system addressing different aspects of security. A proper understanding of these controls is the first step towards securing your hosts. Now, plunge into the process of implementing these security controls. Kickstarting this process, we first focus on risk assessment. Imagine stepping into a battlefield. You wouldn't march straight in without a plan, would you? Of course not. You'd survey the terrain, identify potential threats, and strategize accordingly. The same principle applies to cybersecurity. Risk assessment involves identifying your digital assets, determining potential threats to those assets, and gauging the impact if those threats were realized. It's about understanding the battlefield before you engage. Once we've assessed our risks, we move on to selecting and implementing controls. This is akin to choosing your weapons and armor. You wouldn't bring a knife to a gunfight, right? Similarly, you need to pick the right controls that effectively counter the identified threats. Some controls might include firewalls, intrusion detection systems, or encryption protocols. Once chosen, you implement these controls, integrating them seamlessly into your existing infrastructure. Now that your controls are in place, it's time for a test run. Think of it as a dress rehearsal before the main event. Test the effectiveness of these controls by simulating attacks and observing how well your defenses hold up. This phase is crucial as it helps identify any weaknesses or gaps in your defense strategy. Finally, we arrive at the ongoing review and adjustment process. This is your battle debrief. It's where you analyze the results of your test runs, identify areas of improvement, and make necessary adjustments. Just as a clever general tweaks his strategy based on battlefield outcomes, a wise cybersecurity professional continually refines their security controls based on their effectiveness. Remember, though, this isn't a linear journey. You don't just reach the end and call it a day. Much like a vigilant sentinel, you must constantly monitor, review, and adjust your controls. Cyber threats continually evolve, and so must your defenses. Remember, this process isn't a one-time event. It requires constant vigilance and adjustment. Implementation isn't always a smooth ride. It comes with its own set of challenges. Firstly, let's talk about limited resources. Many organizations strain under the burden of insufficient human, financial, or technical resources. This can make the task of implementing proper security controls daunting. However, it's essential to remember that security isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Organizations can consider outsourcing, adopting cloud-based solutions, or even leveraging open-source tools to stretch their resources. Next, we have the challenge of expertise. The cybersecurity landscape is complex and ever-evolving. Keeping up with the latest threats and understanding how to counter them requires a high level of expertise. Shortage of skilled personnel is a real issue. To tackle this, organizations can invest in training existing staff, collaborating with experts, or even participating in community-driven security initiatives. Finally, resistance to change. It's a human trait after all. Employees may resist new procedures or technologies, viewing them as additional work or an intrusion on their routines. To mitigate this, it's crucial to foster a culture of security. This includes educating employees about the importance of security, involving them in the process, and celebrating security successes. Indeed, these challenges can be daunting, but they're not insurmountable. With careful planning, strategic investments, and a commitment to fostering a security-conscious culture, organizations can navigate these obstacles effectively. Overcoming these challenges is key to building a robust security system. Before we wrap up, it's time to review the main points we've covered. The journey started with an emphasis on the value of security controls. We highlighted their importance in maintaining a robust defense, protecting your systems, and safeguarding your data from myriad threats. Security controls aren't just a nice-to-have, they're a must-have, a critical shield in this digital age. Moving on, we delved into understanding the various types of security controls. We learned about preventive, detective, and corrective controls, each playing a unique role in a comprehensive security strategy. The preventive controls help to avert potential security incidents, detective controls assist in identifying any anomalies, and corrective controls mend the damage and restore system integrity. Next, we navigated the step-by-step implementation process. We started with assessing the current security posture, identifying vulnerabilities, and then, based on the findings, determining the most suitable security controls. Implementation, however, isn't a one-time affair, but a continuous process that requires regular monitoring and updating. Lastly, we addressed common challenges faced during this implementation. These range from lack of resources or expertise to resistance to change within the organization. We also discussed strategies to overcome these hurdles, emphasizing the need for open communication, training, and fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness. With the right approach and continuous effort, implementing security controls for hosts can significantly bolster your organization's cybersecurity posture.